Good morning, Shayne. Welcome back to Blue Notes. You've announced some management changes and restructuring this morning. I wonder if you could tell us, what are you looking to achieve fundamentally with these changes?
Well, what we're really trying to do here is a few things. So one, we're liberating what's great about ANZ. We have terrific businesses today, particularly our retail and commercial businesses here in Australia and New Zealand. And we really want to get focused on those, and we're adding a whole new part of that around our digital banking head announcement there, which is really the future of those businesses. And then really, again, liberating what's great about our regional business, the institutional bank. And we're trying to simplify the structure, be focused on where we're great, and then proceed from there.
And for shareholders, and obviously all bank stocks have taken a bit of a battering of late, for shareholders, this is how you're looking to actually drive value out of the businesses, I take it.
Yeah, driving value is about finding those things that you do uniquely well, the things where you can win. And as I said, we've got some great businesses in the bank where we know we can win, and we win every day, and we need to really give more focus to those businesses going forward. The other thing that I've got to do here is also think about the long term, and that's about making sure that we've got a team that provides succession opportunities for roles across the bank, that gives great balance and diversity to the senior team.
You're talking about those generational changes. Indeed, some of the most significant parts of the announcement today were some personnel changes. We see Mark Willan going from the Australian business to the institutional business. We see an expanded role for David Hisco in New Zealand. And we see Fred Olsen, who's done very well in New Zealand, coming to run the Australian business. Is that the kind of generational talk you mean?
Look, it's great to have talent within the organisation that we can choose from and give greater experience from and draw on that talent. I mean, you know, Fred, Mark, Farhan, David, the team right across the board is a terrific team. And not only are they going to get a benefit from this, because it's going to broaden their perspectives, give them more to think about, more value to add, but we're actually going to get a more diverse group of experiences running the whole group.
And operationally, then the Pacific is going to David Hisco. What other sort of changes do you expect in that sort of retail, commercial, institutional banking alignment?
Well, look, what I'm trying to do here is really go back in terms of institutional about what makes it great. What makes us great and institutional is our servicing and intermediation of trade and capital flows in the region. That's what we're famous for, and that's what we want to do more of. And really just take some of those other parts of what used to be in the IOB and align them where there's more kind of industrial logic. The Pacific is actually very, very aligned culturally and economically with New Zealand. So that makes a lot of sense. And David and his team have done a remarkable job transforming the New Zealand business, and they can really add value to the Pacific and to the Asia retail businesses. So it's trying to focus on what makes us great and where we have our skills and experience.
And some of the terminology there, that the management board becomes an executive committee, some of the divisional CEO titles change. Is that cosmetic, or does that tell us something fundamental about what you're trying?
I think it's fundamental. I mean, at some level, these are small changes. I think they're pretty important. What we've done here is we've said, I expect that team at the top, my team, to think about the group. And so we're group executives. That's what we do. We're the executives of the strategy, and we execute the business for the group. And it's really to move away from having people thinking they're the chief executive of a business line. So it might be a subtle thing. Many will think it is cosmetic. I think it's quite fundamental change.
And two of the roles that are still outstanding, one's flagged here and one we know about, that's the Chief Financial Officer and the Head of Digital. Can you tell us anything more about how those roles are evolving?
Well, they're really important roles. Quite clearly, having a terrific CFO is pretty important in any team. And, you know, and digital is really the whole future of our industry. So those are incredibly important roles to get right, and we'll be taking our time to make sure we get the very best people in there. The other great thing about both roles is they're fabulous roles to bring in external people, potentially, into the organisation who've got breadth and the ability to go further, more senior roles, and also wider. And then finally, an incredibly important thing that I'm thinking about is diversity, and thinking about getting the right kind of balance. I've got today a good experienced balance of people who know the bank and people who are being promoted from within. We're going to bring in some people from outside, and I also have to give some thought around the gender diversity, which is obviously critical.
What sort of timing? Is that these announcements near term?
Yes, they're near term. They'll be happening in the next month or so.
And one of the other issues that you're confronting, ANZ's been in the media quite a bit for a lot of the wrong reasons of late. In the statements today and what you've been talking about today, you talk about ethics and value. How do you sort of go beyond saying, look, this is not acceptable, to changing a whole culture, or do you need to change a whole culture?
Yeah, we need to evolve the culture. I mean, the community expectations of us, our customers, frankly, and 99.9% of our staff expectations have risen significantly, and we have to step up to that. So it's not just about saying, you know, we're not going to tolerate these things. I mean, we're not. But it's also about having, again, the right team. And I'm confident the team we've got today really takes this seriously. We are going to set new standards. We're going to think about the place differently. And we're going to act in a more responsible manner.
Because people do talk about how digital, for example, has transformed the industry and transformed a lot of industries. Equally, the social media brings in the desire of customers and of your staff to have a say in things. Is that something that you've noticed in your sort of 6 years at ANZ or in the last
Well, I've noticed it really, actually quite profoundly in the last couple of weeks. And it goes back to those issues that you talk about in the media. I mean, it's remarkable the number of people, staff, who have come to me either through our intranet, through emailing, or in some cases actually still writing letters, but this idea that people feel that they can, which is great, that they feel that they can come to you. Most of those messages are actually offering support, saying, you know, Shayne, you're doing the right things and I'm glad you're taking these things head on and we're right behind you. And a lot of them start with a very simple thing, saying, you know, I've never written to the CEO before, but I feel that I can. And that's a great part of the culture. So I think, you know, social networks, okay, a lot of it's on the internet and stuff today, on mobile, is really unleashing this feeling of people wanting to contribute and be part of a conversation, which is terrific.
This is quite a body of change here, but is there more to come? Should we expect more changes?
Look, when hasn't there not been lots of change, particularly in our industry? I mean, the reality is our environment is changing really quickly. I mean, you know, 7, 8 years ago we had the global financial crisis. We're still working through that as an industry. There's going to continue to be change. Our customers' expectations of us change dramatically in terms of what they expect. And so we've got to keep evolving and responding to that. So yes, there'll continue to be change in the organisation.
Well, look, thanks again very much for talking with Blue Notes again, Shayne.
Thank you.